Welcome to our third event of the season here at Gone Broke Racing. This week, the V8s travel to New Zealand to race on the newly renovated Pukekohe Park Raceway. So let's take a look at the starting lineup. Surprise pole sitter Pat Sweeney sets it with a 102.843, Rich Minkler in second, Jeff Hooper in third. The top three positions are separated by just 4/100ths of a second. So the new layout of this circuit is approximately 1.8 miles. At the end of the long back straight, there's been 3 corners added. These will consist of turns 5, 6, and 7. In order to achieve ideal lap times, it's crucial that these drivers brake as late as possible going into turn 5 and hit the apex, and then go through these 3 corners precisely to get back on the throttle to turn 8, where they hit the hairpin, take that corner very smooth, and then exit out of turn 8, where they'll have the fast sweeping left-handers of turns 9 and 10, and we'll have to position the car just right at turn 11, where they get on the throttle as quick as possible to again maximize the speed on the front straight. For the third race in a row, we've set a GBR record with 29 cars on the grid today. So let's get ready for 50 laps here at Pukekohe. Cars are lined up on the grid, standing start. Here we go. And it looks like Edwards jumped a little bit too soon. And they are showing him the black flag. He will have to have a drive-through penalty. So he'll have to serve that in the next couple of laps. As the cars go winding through the first couple corners. And we already have a car going across the track. That's Reagan. And there's several cars involved here. Diamond, Wheat. We'll take a look at the replay in just a moment here. And the cars, for the first time, go through turns 5, 6, and 7. And looks like Juliet and Colbert side by side. As they approach the hairpin, both drivers give each other room. And now Green is going to take advantage of this. And he's right up on their bumper. Some very good racing early on near the front of the pack. So let's see what happened at the start. So as you can see, as they're coming through the S's here, Reagan goes off track and his car spins out in front of the rest of the drivers, and Wheat, Gingras, and a couple other drivers were involved. Here's a replay of another incident on the back straight. Looks like Ced Collins got in the back of Dave Fernandez, and then Kelly Gingras gets hit from behind and spun into the wall. So all kinds of action going on here early. And this is Kurt Lang and Dan Wheat coming together. So just before we even complete a lap, there's at least 6 or 7 cars involved in incidents. Not a great way to start this race. So our top 5 is Minkler, Sweeney, Hooper, Dawson, and Juliet. And we've got side by side between R.G. Lang and Ced Collins, who was involved in that incident just a couple laps ago. So he's trying to work his way back up through the pack. Lang lets him through, and Collins bicycles it over the curb, somehow keeps it on the track, so he'll make the pass. And this is newcomer Jason Benson. He started at the back, because he did not qualify, but he is very quick. And he's already up into 13th place, just 3 laps into this thing. So we'll keep an eye on him as the race continues. And this is on board with Hooper, trying to chase down Sweeney. Sweeney hits the curb a little bit, loses some momentum, and that will allow Hooper to move up into second. And now he's got his sights set on Minkler. Hooper takes a little too much curb, power slides it through the corner, somehow saves it. lap 6. This is between Colbert and Green. This is for 6th. And Green hits the curb, slides right in front of Colbert. Almost takes them both out. Luckily, not too much damage done to that car. But Green will lose several spots because of it. And here's a battle for the lead. Going around the lap car. Hooper on the inside, side by side. And there's that dreaded curb. And Minkler up on 2 wheels. Hooper backs off just a little bit to avoid contact. And Minkler somehow maintains the lead. So already we've seen 3 cars go up on 2 wheels through that section of the track. Unreal. And this is Pat Collins. He locks it up. Power slides through, comes back around. And then Benson gets into the back of Marvin Moore. It looks like Benson's waiting for Marvin to come around. Moore's backing up into traffic. Luckily everybody weaves around him. It's a blind corner there. And looks like he will get underway without incident with other drivers, luckily. And we're back up front. Hooper still stalking Minkler. We're on lap 11. Hooper right on his bumper. And Minkler going on to pit road, so that will give Hooper the lead. So pit strategy is going to be key here today. And this is R.G. Lang. He's having some struggles with his tires, and he goes off into the gravel pit. And unfortunately, it looks like he's stuck there. And this is Sheldon. As you can see, several of the drivers who have not pit are continuing to struggle, and he comes across into traffic. Another really bad spot. And he wisely backs up onto the grass, waits for a clearing, and then back underway. Nicely done. And got several cars coming up on Armstrong. Coming through the hairpin, Dawson tries to get around him. Dawson's a lap car. He does move over. Trying to position his car to get through that section. That's a tough one. This is a really tough track to pass on. So the lapping drivers have to be extremely careful. And look at this. Kurt Lang pushing R.G. Lang into the pits after he got out of the sand trap. But as you can see, the engine on that car is smoking badly, so unfortunately his day is done. And this is Capon. Politely moves over and lets some lap traffic get by. We do have some very gentlemanly drivers here at GBR. But again, the cars doing the lapping have the responsibility to make sure it's clear to do so before making the pass. This is on board with Benz. Up on Sweeney's bumper. This is for 5th. Coming into the turn 5. Takes a little bit of curb, side by side through turn 6. Great bit of driving by both these guys. And Benz does make a nice pass to move up. And as you can see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 casualties this race so far, and we're not even halfway in. And here we have a great battle for 2nd between Sherburne, Dawson, Benz, and Sweeney. So a 4-way battle. This is on board with Sweeney, and you can see Benz taking a peek to the inside of Dawson here. And he will make the pass. Everybody, once again, doing a very nice job through that technical section of the track. And Benz is going to try to the outside. Can't quite make it stick. As they come through the sweeping left-handers of turn 9 and 10. And around turn 11. And here's where you maximize the throttle. As you can see, Sweeney gets a little bit of curb. Car comes unsettled a bit. He's going to lose some ground on Dawson. We are now halfway through the race. Hooper has the lead. Benson second. And here's a battle for third between Sherburne and Dawson. And Dawson locks him up a bit, but is able to hold on and moves up to third. So Sherburne will drop to fourth and Sweeney in fifth. And this is between Reagan and Eddie. And Eddie just pushes Reagan off the track a bit. That's for 12th position. Not sure if that was a little payback from the lap 1 incident or not. And this is Colbert, Minkler, and Green. Colbert's been struggling with his tires a bit. As you can see, this back straight's a very popular spot to pass. It's all about late braking, and Minkler does a nice job. On lap 33, Colbert working his way back up. He's dropped a couple spots here, but he's trying to get around Dicer, and he does make the pass. And this is newcomer Yallow. He totally misses the turn, goes through the straight, and wisely holds back a bit, does not gain position to try to avoid getting a penalty, but apparently his tires are completely shot. He goes right into the gravel trap, and he'll be there for a while. As we see Sweeney and Green continuing to battle here. Sweeney using the draft. And he locks up the left rear, but is able to make the pass for third. But every time you lock them up, you flat spot those tires, which may cause a problem later in the race. And this is Dawson. Keep an eye out for him. He's currently in fifth, but he's working his way back up through the pack. And our leader, Jeff Hooper, will make his third pit stop of the race today. So he was on a 3 pit stop strategy. As we see who's behind him. These are lapped cars going by currently. You can see Hooper had a pretty comfortable lead. And here comes Bentz. So now Bentz will move up into the lead with just 12 laps to go in this race, but I do believe Bentz still has to pit. And sure enough, on lap 41, Bentz will pit. It's the wall a little bit there coming on the pit road. That won't help him much. And as you can see Hooper go by, so he'll move back into the position. So apparently this 3 pit stop strategy is working out for Hooper. This is Diamond, and behind, I think that's McDonough, and gets into the back of McDonough, spins it around. Just carried a little too much momentum, and once again wisely waits for traffic to get by to avoid any other incidents. Has to cut back across the track, but he'll get back underway shortly. So we have a heated battle shaping up for second here. So we see Minkler pitting. And Bentz gets around Green, who's on a 1 pit stop strategy. And Bentz is on fresher tires. And now he's trying to get around, I believe that's a lapped car. That's Reagan. And they make contact, and Reagan spins into the wall. Clearly we'll have some damage from that. That's too bad. And speaking of damage, we now have 6 cars in the garage, so we continue to have our fair share of casualties. Dawson currently in second, starting to struggle a bit with those tires. And that's Bentz that gets around him, so he'll move up and move Dawson into third. And this is Edwards. He had the drive-through penalty at the beginning of this race, has moved all the way up to 9th, so nice job. On to the final lap. Hooper has a comfortable 20-second lead over Bentz. Dawson in third. So the top 3 are locked up. And look at this. battle for fourth. Count them, 5 cars. And Sweeney gets into the side of Green a bit. Green goes spinning off into the grass. And then Sweeney also pushes off Sherburne. And so Sherburne will drop back. So Juliet currently in fourth, followed by Sweeney and Minkler. Minkler takes a peek to the inside of Sweeney. Coming up to the turn 5, right-hander. And Minkler will get around Sweeney. Let's see. Do or die here. Final lap. Just a couple more corners. Everybody trying to dive in through the hairpin there. And it looks like Juliet will finish fourth. But fifth is still up for grabs between Minkler and Sweeney. Coming through the last corner, Sweeney gets up on the curb and Minkler will finish in fifth. What a great ending to that race. Hooper takes his second win of the season. 3 pit stop strategy worked like a charm. Nicely done. And here are your results. And look at this. After starting at the back of the pack, Jason Bentz moves up an amazing 28 positions to finish second in this race. And here are your standings. Jeff Hooper extends his lead over Edwards, and Juliet moves up to third. Well, I hope you enjoyed another GBR broadcast. In 2 weeks, the V8s will travel back to Australia at Barbagallo Raceway.